boots creak. And as he spoke another voice cried from the doorway, "The Lord High Provost of South Kensington desires an audience." "The Lord High Provost of South Kensington!" cried the King. "Why, that is my old friend James Barker. What does he want, I wonder? If the tender memories of friendship have not grown misty, I fancy he wants something for himself, probably money. How are you, James?" Mr. James Barker, whose guard was attired in splendid blue, and whose blue banner bore 3 gold birds singing, rushed, in his blue and gold robes, into the room. Despite the absurdity of all the dresses, it was worth noticing that he carried his better than the rest. Though he loathed it as much as any of them, he was a gentleman, and a very handsome man, and could not help unconsciously wearing even his preposterous robe as it should be worn. He spoke quickly, but with the slight initial hesitation he always showed in addressing the King, due to suppressing an impulse to address his old acquaintance in the old way. "Your Majesty, pray forgive my intrusion. It is about this man in Pump Street. I see you have Buck here, so you have probably heard that it is necessary. The King swept his eyes anxiously round the room, which now blazed with the trappings of 3 cities. "There is one thing necessary," he said. "Yes, your Majesty," said Mr. Wilson of Bayswater, a little eager. "What does your Majesty think necessary?" "A little yellow," said the King, firmly. "Send for the Provost of West Kensington." Amid some materialistic protest he was sent for, and arrived with his yellow halberdiers in his saffron robes, wiping his forehead with a handkerchief. After all, placed as he was, he had a good deal to say on the matter. "Welcome, West Kensington," said the King. "I have long wished to see you, touching that matter of the Hammersmiths' land to the south of the Rowton House. Will you hold it feudally from the Provost of Hammersmith? You have only to do him homage by putting his left arm in his overcoat, and then marching home in state." "No, no, your Majesty, I'd rather not," said the Provost of West Kensington, who was a pale young man with a fair moustache and whiskers, who kept a successful dairy. The King struck him heartily on the shoulder. "Ah, the fierce old West Kensington blood," he said. "They are not wise who ask it to do homage." Then he glanced again round the room. It was full of a roaring sunset of colour, and he enjoyed the sight, possible to so few artists, the sight of his own dreams, moving and blazing before him. In the foreground of the yellow West Kensington liveries outlined itself against the dark blue draperies of the South Kensington. The crests of these again brightened suddenly into green, as the almost woodland colours of Bayswater rose behind them, and over and behind all the great purple plumes of North Kensington showed almost funereal and black. "There is something lacking," said the King. "Something lacking. What can There it is. There it is." In the doorway had appeared a new figure, a herald in flaming red. He cried in a loud but unemotional voice, "The Lord High Provost of Notting Hill desires an audience." End of Chapter 2, Book 2.